No, no, listener, I'm all about what you're saying. I get it. The natural bodybuilding contest and the bodybuilding contest with steroids. Of course, they don't call them the bodybuilding contest with steroids, right? They just call, the natural contest natural. The other one is just simply bodybuilding. With fighting, I don't even know how you do it. Maybe it's something worth talking about or worth starting another league, but would anyone watch the natural people then? So I don't know, man. We live in a kind of imperfect world, and the way the Japanese deal with it over there in Japan is they simply say like, well, that's what they're for, right? Like you let them fight it out. In America, we have a very Christian base that has us, have this delusion about fair play or whatnot. But the problem with all of that and trying to enforce your rules on anybody else is what happens is the offshoots come of that, right? Like prosecutors go after Vince McMahon, accusing him of, running a criminal organization off of PEDs. Now, I don't think that was fair what they did to Vince McMahon in the 90s. And I talk about that in my book. I mean, they went after the guy because, he had a huge empire, a business empire, and they wanted the money. Let's be honest with it, right? And so the excuse was, well, he's essentially a drug dealer juicing up all these athletes. And I remember watching it overnight. The athletes shrunk up, right? Like suddenly these big buff muscles went away. They all kind of had like a sagging fat. The Undertaker, all of them, and it was totally hilarious. So I don't know what the right thing to do is. I wish, as a society, we had a more laid back view of those type of things. But at the end of the day, everything's self interest. Law enforcement or whatever you're talking about here in the United States, everything is every man for himself. I mean, so I don't know. I wish what you're talking about would work. I know in the bodybuilding community it's worked to a certain extent, but let's be honest with each other. Do we really know who like Mr. Natural is? Every once in a while, one might burst out. And I had a friend in high school named Brian Corey who had like a natural bodybuilding guy who was his coach for sports. He's a really rich kid. His father could afford it. That guy was a natural bodybuilder on the circuit, but nobody knew him, right? Like it's too small a circuit. But Mr. Olympia, if you're really into bodybuilding, you know who he is. So what would happen? Would it be just like a natural circuit that really nobody knows about or does? And would people cheat on the natural circuit? I'd have to tell you, I think yes, because that's how we are as humans, right? Everybody's looking to get an edge, an angle, to win, to get forward, to, hey, it is what it is. That's human nature. And I guess you can't rag on it too much because that's what, makes us who we are and what we are. What makes this country what it is. It explains a lot of things about what are going on in this country right now. But I think it's a great idea. I think, it's something that can be looked at. And read my book, Warrior of the Light, guys.